Gladys Wanga is Olinda Munga. Power. We want the power. So, hello. Focus on the issue. Forget about the people. Focus on the issue and not the person. So if you focus, forget even the Sifuna Kiwama Wanga, no problem. Let's look at the issue. Create an opportunity for that people talk. And then if dialogue is not working, use alternative conflict resolution mechanism. There are other ways. Bring a pastor to pray and reconcile. Hello. Bring a mganga to threaten so that people can behave. I'm exaggerating, but I'm just showing you that I'm more than one way of sorting out the issues. And in the process, they say, please be part of the solution. Don't be part of the problem. Become the solution. And then be open-minded. Conflict is a power. Now, this thing I was calling alternative conflict resolution, different ways, alternative conflict resolution mechanism. The first stop is, do we have channels for the conflict to be resolved? Yani, an institution usually says, ukiona hii, report hapa, alafu itaangaliwa. Am I talking? Tuko pamoja? Yes. Another one is face-to-face open. I think this one, if you remove the word open and just say face-to-face discussion, it will not work. It has to be open discussion, where each party involved in the discussion does not come with a fixed answer. That if it doesn't go my way, I'm not signing the agreement. Abana, you have to be flexible. Number 3, now parties have failed to discuss. You need a negotiator, and after negotiation, the parties will sign what we call a negotiation agreement, how to work together. Number 4, an arbitrator. Arbitrator, experienced, patient, learned person who can listen to both parties. Hello? And moderate both. Hachukui sides. Anatone down huyu, anatone down huyu, mnakubaliana, inakuwa super renovation. There is another person called an ombudsman. Now, being Gen Z, these terms, you will Google arbitrator and Google ombudsman. You will know the difference. Am I okay? Yeah. An ombudsman, a legal person who can help you to see the void and therefore begin to agree. Number 6, you can institute round table flexible discussion. Create an opportunity, say, hey, let's forget the past, let's just talk, let's see. Is this thing really necessary? Can we look at it differently? Is it possible that we can work together? What will when all number 1 to 6 can't work, then you have no option but to go to court of law. Now, many student leaders are deceived by politicians. That when you have a small difference, you get a lawyer to court. The court should be the last resort. And I'm going to give you an example that has taught some student leaders a good lesson. When I was Dean of Students in Kenyatta University, there were students who were suspended for 3 years for participating in unlawful assembly. Hello? Unlawful assembly. They finished the 3 years and then came to report. So during the signing in, we call it readmission. I met them as a dean. I talked to them physically and told them, you have please, Sahi, focus on your study, get the paper and leave. Don't be deceived by anybody to go to court. They said, yeah, yeah, thank you very much, thank you. The next day they were in court. Some lawyer told them that this case is very cheap. You know, the lawyers also want problems to be there so that they eat. So the case went to court. And when they brought summons, the notice of the case to the university, they handed it over to the legal officer who gave it to the vice chancellor, and then it was mentioned in the Senate. The senator said if they have gone to court, nullify their admission until the case is heard and determined. So they were told, waiting here class now, we're quoting at the same time. Go back home until the case is heard and determined. The case took 2 years. And the verdict after 2 years was that this case can only be reviewed by a Senate. The University Senate. You know the law, these students don't know. The law says the University Senate is the highest decision-making organ of a university. Nobody can force the Senate to make a decision. So you have wasted 2 years after 3 becomes, then you are taken back to the people who gave you the first 3 years. So Senate said, oh, welcome. They are here. They thought the court would help them. In fact, 3 years were not enough. Add them 1 more year. They were added officially 1 year of suspension from the date of the verdict. After the court returned it, they said, now you will go home for another year. Senate ndio kusema, hata court inajua. They were added 1 more year. They had wasted 5, they were given 1 more, 6 years. During that time, university used to take only 3 years. They were already second years when they were given 3 years. So when they came back, it was just wavumilia tu miezi sita, 2 semesters. It can end up being 6 years. 6 years plus 2, the ones they had already studied in year 1 and 2. 8 years. Plus the one that will now come to school to study after so it becomes 9 years. 3 degrees, someone could have gotten 3 degrees. 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. Why waste it in court? What 1 hour and 9? That's why professors put court of law as the last one. Jaribu njia zingine, uache hiyo. Haya, here comes another bombshell. I was expelled when I was a student. I was the president of the student union when Kenyatta University was a college of Nairobi University. My union used to be called KUKSA, Kenyatta University College Students Association, and I was the president. I was elected unopposed. That one, I can tell you later how I became unopposed without challenge. And I was chairman for 2 terms. 1 term full and another full term. Again, stories I'll tell you later how that became possible. But I was expelled. Hello? Hello. And when I was expelled, I called the people who were expelled with from my team and said, koti haiwezi saidia, kwenda kotini ujinga. Let us use the power of proxy. Power of proxy. So I took them to the office of the Provincial Commissioner for Nairobi. It was an old man called Stephen Mwakisha. And he was as the president, Daniel Toroitich Arap Moi. So we went and we knocked there and we were telling them, please allow us to see him only for 1 minute because we know he's going to the study to meet the president. Hawa wakasema nyinyi vijana hamna adabu. How can he stop to give you a minute when he's going to meet the president? Are you crazy? So as we argued, he came out and found us at the door. He said, "Young man, what is the problem?" We said, "We have just one request to make. If you allow us, we shall explain after you come back from the stadium. We have been expelled for the wrong reason, but we don't have time to explain it. So please just tell the president we are pleading that he reverses the expulsion. We can come later and explain." He said, "Okay." He didn't go back to the office. He had heard. He walked to the vehicle, fired to Nyayo Stadium. President was welcomed. Entertainment was going on. In the meantime, Makisha said, "There's some young men who came from Kenyatta University College. Now wamesema for their own reason, but hawakuwa na time enough ya kuni-explain. They are requesting you pardon them." Moya akakubali tu, akanodded the head. So when he stood to speak to the nation, he spoke his normal speech, the unwritten ones. You know, Moya used to write. Otherwise, if you write, it says Kong, Kong, then somebody pronounces and says Iyo. That guy. So, after he finished, he said, "Nasikia ya kwamba una vijana wamevuguzwa Kenya University College. Nasema ya kwamba warudi mara moja." Lakini nikisikia tena sasa hiyo, lakini we are not listening to it. We have been pardoned by the president. Not the court of law where they say mention next month, mention after 3 months, mention. This hearing will begin the second year. We will have lost. So just in the nip of time, someone, the power proxy means someone who has access to an office you can't. You use that guy to reach there on your. You were pardoned. We went back to the university. You know, they announced it on the radio and the TV. So we went back very confident that we are back. President, who can challenge the president? We went back and ile barua zilikuwa tumepewa kazi gani kusema following the presidential directive. You are asked to report back. And we reported back. So we nikawa humble human being. And because I was elected again to be president, now the second years rioted when I was in my final term. They sent people home, I was again among them. This is a second expulsion. Not suspension, expulsion. Again, I said going to court will waste energy and time. I went to see Moses Budamba Mudavadi, the father of the current Mudavadi, who is Yusuf. Mudavadi went to see the president at State House. And he told the president, "Mr. President, some students have been expelled from Kenyatta University College, and my son is among them." So Moy asked him, "So what do you want me to do?" He said, "You see, my son is among them." But he's not my father, but he claimed I'm his son to save me because I come from his constituency. He said, "My son is among them." So I'm pleading that watch it. So Moy asked him on this of 6 students, which position is he? So there were 6 names. I was number 1. I was number 1. So when Mudavadi says number 1, Moi chased him. And very interesting. Mudavadi was older than Moi. But when he was chased, he obeyed. To go. Kwenda, akatoka. After he had gone, Moi felt guilty. How he has sent a very old Mzee away like umbwa kali. He reflected in it and told him, I've reflected on what you said. Akachukua simu. To the boss of Kenyatta. This is President Daniel Doroidis. Boy, a very heavy voice. The guy on the other side was bragging on the phone. Even if it's not being seen. And I said, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir, yes sir. Kuna vijana mlifukuza jana? Wako wangapi? Sir, there are 6. And we are still processing us. Akamwambia shut up. Kitisha vijana wacha kuangalia wengine. And that was it. I ended up and I'm enjoying goodwill of proxy. The person who can reach where you are unable to reach. I didn't go to court, but I succeeded better. Am I talking? First, Mwakisha. Second, Mudavadi. And I was able to survive. Ladies and gentlemen, that's the 2. The first one was how to handle grievances. You will categorize. Ni gani, sababu ni gani, strategy ni gani, na nani atafuatilia. Am I talking? But when it comes to conflict, imewapa the steps and the alternative mechanisms end up being with law as the last resort. Not number 1. Am I talking? Don't rush for the law. It will harass you. Because the longer a case takes in court, the more charges the lawyer will prefer. And you have to pay. Am I talking? So they always assume if it takes law and they succeed in giving you compensation, they will eat 2/3 of that compensation. Lakini if you flog like the students who are returned to the Senate, no, there's no compensation. In fact, they were added more days at home, so the lawyers had problems. So any politician who had incited them had to take responsibility for paying lawyers. No, the students couldn't get money to pay any lawyer. Are we together? And I think on that note, that presentation must have ended. What is the last slide say? Oh, it says thank you. Hello? So, I'm remaining with one presentation, isn't it? Yes. Now, we are balancing to see whether it is coming in the afternoon or it is coming now. Depends on... It is 7 minutes to 1. So it means if we do it now, by saa 9 sharp, I'll be through. Then you can eat and enjoy. So allow me to Lord. But are you getting something? Yes. Yes. Right. Good. Hallelujah. coming soon.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, within, I can even make the hour. If you can just do 30 minutes, you will be okay.
Yes.
Then we eat properly. Yeah? So I'm thinking that when you say behavior change, there are two possibilities. We are saying either you observe somebody's behavior and discover it has changed, or
Professor,
yes,
you can give them 5 minutes to go for once a liter of condoms.
Oh yes, yes. Good.
5 minutes.
Good. Okay, there is a bit of biology. Yeah. That's okay. Yeah, we can relate. So that we can talk about behavior change. Yeah. Behavior change. Yeah. So, oh, I think that's okay. That's okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Beautiful. No, we are okay. We are doing fine. Doing fine. So that's the last one. Yeah. Good. That's safe. But we are encouraging to leave an impact by writing proposals for support from outside. Because if they can do that, you put up, you can even put up a football pitch, you can put up something in the lab, even the resources they're talking about. If you talk to Safaricom, some of them are ICT, they can support.
Some of the things they don't understand is that they want a lot, they don't want money, and they are not paying. You know, the product will come to the other.
No, but if these fellows can just open that door, unapelekea Safaricom, wanacheck their budget for corporate social responsibility, wakisema ya can manage this bit, munatengezewa kitu. Huawei, munatengezewa kitu. Equity, munatengezewa. So that way, and even the county government, you never know, you might be able to find somebody to filtrate and give you a small budget and promote. You find the resources are now growing and you are not spending. You are not spending on it. And today, I mean, this week I was busy. This week, because I was.
So you have ever been expelled twice?
I was expelled twice, and I used power proxy twice to get it back. I said, here, you report the other one. They will say, this is, we expelled him last time. And the judges will say, yeah, really you a fool, so they make sure, yeah. So we proxy. Nimejua inasaidia sana. Even when I became dean of students, funny way it came. I went for a conference in South Africa, presented something very systematically. Mpaka 3 vice chancellors were universities from around Africa wanted to cross and go to the university. Just by listening to me, how much are they paying? I will double. The other one said, what has he told you? I can double. And then the third one said, I know the two of them have already told you. Me, I want you to come to my university on sabbatical. Then if you like the environment, we shall negotiate. They were talking to me in the presence of each other after I presented. And then now, one of them, I thanked them and told them, I'll go back home. because they gave me permission to come, I must go and say thank you and then arrange to come. Mimi naelekea airport, mmoja ameshika simu. Anapigia the vice chancellor. Akamwambia, this one I am taking. Huyu I'm snatching. Chwana akamwambia, kwani uliona nini? Akasema, you are sitting on a resource. Huyu I'll pay you what you are paying again. So mimi kuland at the airport, nasikia bisi alikuwa na anybody. Sababu I was in the plane, how could he get to me? The next day when I went to meet people in the university, they already asked for my file. They had studied it and made a decision that I'm becoming the dean of students. So that it stops the other one from snatching and paying me twice. So I received a letter. I was going to, kuna barua inatoka kwa vice chancellor. Mimi nafungua naona blue. Unajua blue kana ya wanapendaka kana fulani. Naangalia. Hi. On behalf of the University Council, I'm pleased to inform you that I said, wait. Is that me or did I go to somebody else? Nikakuta it's me. Ameniambia he's appointing me the deputy dean of students with immediate effect. But what was funny was the details. He was saying me, as a deputy dean, you'll be in charge of the following. He gave me all the roles of the dean, all of them. In my letter as a deputy, I have all the roles. So I was wondering, a deputy with the roles of the dean. And then I was to report to the vice chancellor. Even deputy vice chancellor was not in the picture. I reported directly to him. So see, I picked the job. I found the dean who inducted me into the things. Kumbe the dean was retiring. He made me deputy, but with all the responsibility, so that when this one moves, there's nothing new to add. So when the dean moved, he wrote another one. Now acting, but now to report to deputy vice chancellor. So now that things have come back to normal, I must follow the protocol. So he gave me the acting dean and I acted for 6 months. So instead of confirming me, he still made me deputy and brought in a dean. But he convinced the council to change the name from Dean of Students Office to Directorate of Student Affairs. You know, when it's a director, VC can appoint. Dean, the council must appoint. So he changed it to a direct council. The same council agreed. Now are releasing the mamlaka to him. So he made, there was a dean, a director, and I became a deputy in charge of student welfare. Another lady came as a deputy in charge of women affairs, and another one deputy in charge of parents and counseling services. So we were now more people in the place. But he gave me more responsibility than the other deputy, because he had now trusted this brother. We keep him busy until he cannot go. He cannot go to South Africa. Anyway, come back. Welcome back. That's how I became. There is somebody recommended. He said, I'm taking away. Then because of that, I was made to occupy the position in order to avoid going. So sometimes proxy is good. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mentioned when you went out that when you say behavior change, it might mean some observable behavior that is different from the previous one. Then when somebody starts behaving differently, there's a behavior change. And then the second one, someone can deliberately say, this is me, this is how I'm behaving, but I would be better off if I acquired this other behavior. Am I talking? So you plan how to be mentored until you become that person you want to become. That is also behavior change. Both ways is okay. So, what does this slide say? It says the meaning of behavior change. Now I have, sorry, the problem with professor is you have to read about something, and then if you find more than one thing, you say, I want to say all of them. You see, they say, in general, general meaning, a behavior change is when someone starts acting differently than they usually do. This could be becoming more withdrawn or more outgoing, changes in habits like sleep, eating, and routine, or reacting differently to situations or people. That's the general meaning of behavior change. But it refers to modifying habits or actions, either intentionally or unintentionally. For example, breaking a bad habit like smoking, build a new one like exercising regularly, or responding differently to stress or emotions. That's also behavior change. Am I talking? But there's another one. Number 3 and 4. In health education, remember, health education, behavior change usually means encouraging positive actions such as eating healthier, following medical advice, and improving study habits. That's also, you are changing, but you are becoming better. Now, number 4 is saying behavior change may be sudden or may be gradual. So, according to experts, when there is a certain change in behavior, it can signal something important. Either you're going through stress, or an illness is coming in, or there is an emotional issue. That's why your behavior has changed. When it is gradual, they say it is often part of learning, growth, or you are building new habits, habit building. So far, so that's the context. So I'll talk about the positive one and the negative one, then we'll see how to unify them, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, whether you're changing suddenly or changing pole, the aim is at the end of the day, you must remain healthy, isn't it? Mm-hmm. So I gave you this slide which says the genesis of mental well-being. If you want to remain mentally well, there are certain things that must be done, which you must adopt, isn't it, to remain mentally well. So number 1, they say if you exercise regularly, then you're likely to be encouraging your health. If you develop coping skills, now I have 3 words there, and I want you to understand them. Hello? The first piece of advice is that you must accept that the challenge is real. Don't resist. Just say, yes, I have a challenge. Am I talking? Then 2, you now may need someone to help you, to reduce the challenge. But it will still be there. When you reduce a challenge, it means it hasn't gone, but it's not as heavy as it was at the beginning. But now if you have better skill, you eliminate. Then the challenge is no more available. So you go through phases of developing coping. When you are coping with a situation, you cannot just be in a situation and tomorrow you are out of it. No. First of all, you accept, then you reduce, and then you eliminate. Developing problem-solving skills. Leaders, in order to be a better problem solver, you need a coach. And we say coach, especially those people who are in sporty games. We say a coach will teach you one skill at a time, isn't it? Yeah. Only heading the ball. Only running with the ball without losing it. Dodging other people while you have the ball. Am I talking? Then it is after you've mastered each individual skill, they say now, to tengeneze a team, tuone kama you can apply them. Am I talking? So you need a coach, and once you have acquired new skills, you need a mentor to perfect them. Sometimes you look at how other people do it, role modeling, and then learning to manage emotions. We have talked about emotional intelligence, which are amplified. When you learn how to deal with people's feelings, you are becoming mentally more healthy. There is also, the final bit, need for protective and supportive environments in the family, at school, and in the wider community. So protective environment also can make you mentally well. You feel, I'm in a good place, Matungu is nice, I'm able to do 1, 2, 3, 4. Am I talking? Now to remain there, to remain there, you need elements of positive psychology. Just think things that are not negative, like happiness, hello, well-being, and positive emotions. Optimism, things will come and work well. Hope, tomorrow is better. Goal pursuits, I will achieve this goal. Self-regulation and flow, not depending on other people to tell you what to do, you do it yourself and you enjoy it. Meaning in life, even when people are giving up, you are not giving up. Character strengths and virtues, that's why we started with the virtues. Positive relationships, stress, coping, resilience, and post-traumatic growth. Positive psychology interventions. Sometimes you can ask other people to assist you to overcome situations. Hello? And when you want to be a better person in life, we look at this. We say, those two guys, there was a guy called Joseph Luff and another one called Harrison. So they have said Joe, Harry, window. Am I talking? So these buggers, this gentleman, they say there are some things you know, and there are some things you don't. And then there are things other people know, and there are things other people don't know. So when you know and they know, you are in the open area. But what people know, I also know. We can interact nicely. If I'm totally unaware of what others know, then I'm in the blind spot. And who is in the blind spot? You. The one who doesn't know. Am I talking? But if I know, but other people don't know, then I'm in the hidden area. What I know, others to know. If I want them to know, I need to share. So that I bring them to the knowledge and we move out of hidden and we go into the open. However, there are also times when you don't know anything and no one around you also knows it. This is the region of the unknown. So you see, I don't know, and others also don't know. One of the reasons, according to psychologists, is because you have never experienced. It's unconscious. You don't know it. But with the IT and the AI, you can now begin to research. Ask them to research, and you also research them. You inform each other, and then you move out of the unknown and you become better people. So we are saying your behavior is going to change if you discover that there is something you never knew, which others knew, and you have now discovered that that thing they knew can make you a better person. Behavior change. Now here, things you knew but others didn't. Therefore, your relationship with them was strained because of the ignorance they have. When you now make them aware, they start interacting with you differently. Now you have improved behavior. You have become a better person. If none of you knew, the willingness to look for that information together so that you become informed also changes your behavior and you become a better person in life. So, then for you to be able to deal with feelings of people, you must acquire the 4 elements of emotional intelligence. The first one, wanasema self-awareness. Usianzie nje, anzia ndani. Self-awareness. You are aware of your feelings and how they affect you, what you do and act like. So there's emotional awareness, awareness of your feelings, self-confidence, self-image, and accurate self-assessment. Accurate self-assessment means you honestly know your strengths as well as weaknesses. You don't concentrate on strength. You have some weaknesses. That's accurate. When you hide the weaknesses, you are not accurate. So far? So. Now, after becoming aware, you now control your feelings. Then we call it self-management. Now, the ability to manage your emotions, self-control, transparency, and ability to adapt to situations. And then self-motivation means you don't wait people to give you incentive. You can have an achievement drive, and you can have the heart to start things, initiate, and the expectation that things will work well, optimism. So far, so good. Now, after you have managed the two, becoming aware and managing yourself, then you can become aware of others and manage them. Am I talking? Mm-hmm. That's why the third one is social awareness, meaning you are aware of other people's feelings and how you could relate to them. Empathy and with others. In other words, putting yourself in their shoes and feeling, if it were me, how would I feel when this thing was happening? And then organizational awareness means the people you work with, you understand their strengths and weaknesses. And when you are assigning duties, you only use their strengths to assign those people. Don't worry about the weakness. Use their strength. Using people's talents, ignoring people's tasks. Avoiding conflict situations means you are socially aware. And then service orientation. You are giving service to people without expecting them to pay back. Social awareness, you are number one. Am I talking? Mm-hmm. Finally, relationship management. Emotional intelligence is very wonderful. That you have the ability to start a new and good relationship. You have the ability to keep a good one going, but you have the ability to cut off any toxic relationships. Anything like hanging on will destroy your mental well-being. That's why I told you, wakisema it is over, confirmed. So that way it removes the burden of having to worry about the thing. Am I talking? So far? So good. Then they say, now, you need to adjust your behavior in relation to emotions. Everybody in the world has 20 emotions. See, when I do a up, 5 times 4 is 20, isn't it? So the emotions that are in these pictures are 20, and each one of us has them. Only that the circumstances around us make us express a few and hide others. Am I talking? So when I cry, don't tell me, Professor, you're crying like a child. I'll tell you, go to hell. Let me continue crying because I'm releasing my problem. Am I talking? Because if I keep it inside, I'll suffer more. But if I release it, I'll be a free man. Am I talking? So they say, allow people around you to express their feelings, and they will allow you to express yours. So far? So good. Then the buggers you meet, when a president, they are of these colors. They are people you meet and they belong to different character color. A person is red in color, values rules, strict order, and hierarchy. They can chair meetings very well and streamline guys to talk sense. Am I talking? Green people, they like team synergy. They value people's feelings and appreciation, and they like consensus. People should agree. Blue people are reserved. They are introverts. who are private but original. And they are very reflective. If you give them a task, they don't rush. They think properly, they coordinate properly, they systematize properly, and give you a systematic answer. Although they don't talk a lot, but they know how to do it. Am I talking? Ooh, Mr. President, the yellow bagger has a sense of creativity. They value attention, and they need time for completion. Now, let me give you a meeting scenario. You are meeting, you're met as a council. Maybe Red is chairing. Hello? Before you need to talk to this person, the blue. Because during the meeting they will not talk. So don't waste time asking them what opinion you have. They won't give. But if you meet them before the meeting and tell them this is the agenda, what is your opinion? They will tell you. Hello? Privately. Then you carry it and give it to the red person to propose in the meeting. Don't worry about green. Green will always second. Second, I support. And sometimes green can come afterwards and say, what was I supporting? Meaning, at the meeting, they just want a quick consensus. People are kubaliane. Later on, as I digest, what was I supporting? Are we together? Now, yellow, and Angoja, you finish, and you say minute it. So the secretary is about to minute. Then yellow says, excuse me, chair. Can I ask a question before we minute? Well, don't allow. If you are a good chair, you say, allow the secretary to minute, and then you ask the question. Because after minuting, yellow will ask the opposite of what you have just minuted. They want something different. So if you are intelligent, now Madam Principal, you say, that's a very wonderful idea, but it needs a lot of time to discuss. Can I request members that we make it the first item in our next meeting? You have saved yourself the hassle. Because in the next meeting, yellow will come with another item. They have forgotten this one. Clever, Professor, clever. But the good news is that although all of us have all the four colors, one color is dominant. One overpowers the others and gives you a character. So don't expect everybody to react the same way because they are not the same. Am I talking? Yeah. And that gives you an opportunity to know how to manage them. And therefore, your behavior can adjust to other people's behavior and you become a wonderful leader. The last point in my presentation is about how to manage stress. So, all of us have some degree of stress, but some people are more stressed than others. So, the smallest level of stress is called hypostress. Hidden hypo. The smallest level which we are not conscious of, and therefore it doesn't harm us. The next level, which is beneficial, is called eustress. Very useful level of stress that acts as a driving force for life. I have not finished assignment. When you finish, it relaxes. Am I talking? Yeah. Sijafanya project. When you do, I have a date at 3. Between 1:30 and 2:45, you have a lot of tension. Will it work? With the debt, is it going to rain? What will happen? But when it reaches 3 and the debt succeeds, your stress level goes down. I have not done shopping. When you go to the shop and buy that. So this one is called useful stress, eustress. We need it for life to have meaning. So some degree of challenge must be in life so that you survive. But distress, the third level, it's a bad level of stress. And the symptoms, lack of concentration, loss of memory, loss of appetite, lack of sleep, mood changes, character flip. Yani introverts become extro and extroverts become intro, and loss of interest. So some of the comrades who are not attending their classes. They have lost interest because of stress. Am I talking? So if you want to help them, you do not only solve the problem of coming to class, but you find out, you probe the cause of their not coming to class. Am I talking? Yes. Then the last and highest level, hyper stress. It is characterized by suicide thoughts. You want to kill yourself. Murder and murder. You want to kill other people. Self-denial. You are not attending to your normal responsibility. You don't want to eat. You don't want to shower. You don't want to iron. You don't want to wash clothes. Overindulgence, meaning doing too much of something. Overeating, over-drinking, over-smoking, over-quarreling, fighting too much. Am I talking? When you see the level of something is being done excessively more, that person has a lot of stress. So far, so good. And if you don't do anything, you adopt addictive behavior and you can easily end up with madness is the last resort. Are we there? Now, how do you manage it? That's my intention, to show you how to manage. Now, we have physical stress. Yani stress ya kimaumbile, if you want to manage it, you can shake and dance a bit. Am I talking? Shaking and dancing. So Gen Z, you do a lot of dancing, but this is not a recommendation to go to the disco. Because dancing can be done even in church. See, yeah. So dancing means shaking your body systematically, rhythmically in a response to a song, irrespective of which song it is. Then hydrotherapy, using water to manage stress. There are 4 ways. You drink 8 glasses of water per day, which is 4 liters, as the minimum volume. You will be safe. But don't drink it in one go. Take some in the morning, some chana, some in the evening, some before you sleep. Total volume, more than 4 liters. Safe. A warm shower relaxes muscles. So when you feel your muscles are dead, take a warm shower, unajisikia smartation. A cold shower invigorates and soothes nerves. It adds vigor to the nerves and makes their function very smooth. You are a young man, but I can whisper to the boys who are here that for men, when you get a lot of stress, in order to safeguard the reserves of energy in your system, the first place to be affected is your appetite for sex. It goes. You cannot salute. Hello? No intimidation will make you salute. But now we are saying, when you take a cold shower, it re-energizes the system, and no battery can last longer than energized. Clap for Professor. And the last one, the number 4, when you take a steam bath, it removes toxins from the body. So you then you cover yourself above the water. Then you throw the blanket. That time when you sweat profusely, toxins, yani sumu inatoka kwa mwili inakuja nje, unakuwa clean. Then you need to eat a balanced diet. Then you need to have sleep. Now, junior secondary has disorganized my formula. I used to say a primary kid requires 8 hours of sleep. Secondary school kid requires 6 hours of sleep. And any adult above 18 requires 4 hours of continuous sleep. Continuous sleep. You can't sleep half an hour and count, I'm remaining 3.5. Then you interrupt. You have to sleep for 4 hours. So when I have Gen Z, when I have wazes, nawaambia if you are married, ikifika jioni, please start dealing with matters arising from previous minutes before you can sleep, so that nobody complains that you may lala for 4 hours. Clap for Professor. Then you rest at regular rest. And then we have exercise and now those are 2 in 1. Exercise is mazoezi ya viungo, but recreation is some form of entertainment. So you need both. You exercise a bit, entertainment a bit. Then avoid overloading. Don't overload the physical body. And lastly, you need an ideal body mass index. So body mass index, for those of you who do PE, we say mass in kilograms over h squared, where h is your height in meters. So height times height becomes height squared. Mass over height squared, it gives you a number. If the number is smaller than 19, you are underweight. You should eat mudokoi, samaki, and others. 19 to 24, you are in the normal range. What weight you are for? If you are 24 to 30, you are overweight. You can reduce it a bit. And if you are more than 30, you are obese, and you can also reduce. For these 2 levels, we now have exercises in TVs. Don't we have them? Yeah, we can now manage to survive. And the last slide I have for you today is how to manage social and mental stress. Social and mental stress. Hebu ambia mwenzako kucheka ni dawa. Yes. That is number 1. Naona hapo imeandikwa la. So if you start sensing signs of stress, look for someone who can crack jokes. And once you laugh, you reduce the level. It can never remain the same. Positive thinking. Positive thinking, those of us who go to church, we normally argue, and I think mzee wa kazi confirm. We always believe that in every challenge you go through, God hides a blessing. Doesn't matter which one. You have lost a loved one, you have done something, you have done. Kuna ka blessing kanajificha hapo ndani. So instead of worrying about the negative thing itself, wait on the Lord to reveal what is it that He hid in it for you. Let me surprise you a little. The elections of 2012-2013, I contested as a senator for Vihiga County, and I got the highest vote. 78,000, number 2 had 62,000, and there was no number 3. 78 plus 62 is 140. Counted from all stations, my agents confirming, filling form 34 and 36. We go to the final stage where they are announcing the winner, and they declare number 2 as the winner with 104. And mine has been moved from 78 to 36. Add 36 to 104, the total is still 104. So that if you go to court, the number of voters is the same. Why are you complaining? Then they have added him and it snatched you, so that the gap between where their vote is and where yours is so big that if you go to a court of law, they say you're wasting court time. You should complain when it's 2,000 difference, 3,005. But 36 versus 104, wewe kijana professor, wewe ni professor kweli? Unaona hii? So I realized, wow, there is no jambo hakiko hapo. Nikatoka hapo. My supporters were waiting for me to go to court and contest. What are the court requirements? You deposit 1 million for the case, and you give them 5 million in case lose. The other person will be given. So how many million? 6. If I have 6 million, why not build a school? And then put people there to start earning, because the students will pay fee and they will be taught, and I'll have salaries for them. 6 million. Don't go to court. It's stupidity. So I went to Mount Kenya University and I started teaching. Back to the payroll. Soft landing. Club professor. I became an associate professor. Then in 2017 I went back. They fixed me on Mtandao. You know, we call it algorithm. So they say C plus X minus X. X comes in, X is taken away. When X comes in, X is taken away. So before people voted, I had 4,000 votes from Norway. Wamenipea na mtu hajavote. Wakianza kuvote, inaingia, inatoka. Inaingia, inatoka. So before and after elections, Professor had only 4,000 votes. Again, what wanasema, this is broad, this daylight robbery. Daylight? When they were waiting for me to call them for a meeting to plan how to go and complain. Hello. I went to Machakos University. Back to the payroll. But why I'm saying back to the payroll is that civil servants, you resign 1 year before if you want a post, isn't it? So natoka kwa lecturing, naenda kwa the bush to talk to people with less money because I'm not on payroll 1 year before for 12 months. You resign in order to contest. Then I say, let me look for another place where I can snatch at least something on the payroll. So wakati nilirudi Machakos nikasema in 2022, not again. I had the most peaceful time of my year in 2022. Because when I was contesting, people used to come to my home at 3 a.m. for morning tea. And my wife was awake with the rice and a bit of githeri. And when they want to go, they say, we just want to say hello. Your hello means, you must stand at the gate and dish out. I'm seeing, mia, mbili, depending on who is it, miatano, you know. And they are just rotating there to come back for lunch, and then they'll be back for the next day. So I said, so 22 December, am I talking? See, I became associate prof. And now I came to Machakos and became a full prof. So 2 jumps from senior lecturer to associate to full professor. If I won in 2012, 5 years later will be 2017. I will be doctor. And then I go back again for senatorship when he be a tenor. By 2022, still doctor. Niende tena, 2027, still doctor. But now I abandoned this one and I won this other one. You see, the hidden value is I'm now a full professor, something you can't reverse. Am I talking? Yeah. But how the votes have gone. The one who snatched from me, they are also snatched. Is no longer in parliament. So positive thinking means looking at situations and saying, what is hidden in it that is good for me? Not what is bad for me. Look at the good side. Hello? Yes. And then we have flexibility. The willingness to accept change is called flexibility. Don't be rigid. Don't say, I will never greet you again. You are joking. Never greet. Greet it. A situation will arise where you cannot avoid greeting me. Madam, ati mtu anasema hawezi greet wewe. Wacha Ruto akuje. Ama Kithure Kindiki as the chief guest. Si utatembea kwa staff ukisema huyu ndio. Alafu wewe unamsalimia na anasalimia president, unasema na huyu unamsalimia na anasalimia president. Sasa kama alisema 6 na president amekuja, anasema wacha tu nisalimie kwa sababu president is there. Nitamsumbua kwa sababu alisema niliapa ya kwamba 6 lakini nime. Forget. Be flexible. Be flexible. Don't be rigid. Change of environment. There are many ways of badilisha in the environment. You can stay in the same environment, but you decorate it differently. Isn't it? You can also change the orientation of your desk in the same environment. It looks different. But you can also visit relatives and friends. It's also change of environment. Then there is pleasant company. They say that there's someone in your life, when you have stress and you talk to this guy, things look different. They become softer. Am I talking? Anakuombea, anakupa mawaidha, or something that brings you lower than high stress. So that person is your pleasant company. Please discover in your life who is it that when you talk to, ukiwa na stress yenyewe inapotea. Honest consultation, meaning say the truth, don't hide, so that people can suggest solutions. Am I talking? Yes?
Yeah.
Hi. They say there are certain things you must avoid. Avoid suppressing emotions. Don't hide your true feelings. If you are annoyed, Madam Deputy, say, Madam Principal, I'm angry and I'm sorry, you are my boss. But when it is anger, nobody can control it. I'm going to count 1 to 5. If you are still there, I'm sorry, your head will have gone. Principal will take off. Hiyo barako ataandika akiwa kwengine. Because you have revealed it. And you know, as you reveal it, you are releasing it. You remain without anything. Am I talking? And then avoid nothing. Kama mtu amekukosea, forgive and forget. The more you keep it, Professor Lini, yule anakuja. Tumekuja kwa ndani mola. Professor Lini. That is the deputy. Who is suffering? You. The other person doesn't even have an idea that you are suffering. Don't mask and lie. It is inside you. It can destroy you. Don't overload and don't doubt yourself. In this room, if any man dares to tell you you are ugly, don't panic. Tell the man, Sindio, for me, this many years you've been seeing me, you never knew that. You're confused the guy again. Am I talking? And then you tell them, people with ugly eyes will always see ugly images. And people with the beautiful eyes will always see beautiful images. You say I look ugly? Who is the problem? Your eyes. Clap for Professor. Don't say you're going to drink rat because someone said you are bogus. Mwambie macho yenye iko ugly. You inaonanga ugly image. So you have a problem. Go and deal with your eyes. Then we have something called the soothing touch of nature. The soothing touch of nature. When somebody is worked up with a lot of stress and they take off from the house and they go and sit in a clean, beautifully arranged environment with fresh air. Hello? And a kivuli. Switch off the phone to avoid disturbance and distraction. Sit there for 30 minutes. By the time you finish the 30 minutes and go back to the house, you are not the same. You are definitely different. And you have talked to no one, but nature has talked to you. A language no one can understand. Wewe mwenyewe tu umerelax hapo mpaka unaona ndege wanarukaruka tu from one tree to another and they are surviving. They have never written a strategic plan, but they are happy. And me, with my thinking, why am I having a problem? Look at an ant. Hello? And its size. One step, the ant is not there. If step two kwa hiyo ant, it is gone. But somehow, God has protected it. It's not, I have not stepped on it. So, isn't there some force somewhere which worries about my welfare? I think. Hello? Unasema hapana, I think I was becoming useless. I think now I better face life because there's some bigger promise in life. Am I talking? Yeah. And then sharing with others in similar situations. They say when you talk to somebody who has experienced the challenge, you learn something. And you also identify by the fact that you are not alone. Am I talking? Yes. And then positive self-image. If you think you are okay and your self-esteem is alright, when people say negative things about you, you just dismiss them as opinions. Hello? Where Nguruwe? That's an opinion. I think Nguruwe has 4 legs and a tail. I don't. So I cannot be Nguruwe. You dismiss it, don't keep it in your heart, itakusumbua. Dismiss it as soon as it comes. Am I talking?
Yes.
And then empty chair. The empty chair technique, they say if you have an empty chair in a corner, in one of the rooms in the house and lock the door. Why are you locking the door? You don't want interruptions when you have started. Then imagine that all the people who have caused you stress are present in the room. And you're going to deal with them one by one. Ladies and gentlemen, you must name them. You must say, Professor, you are number 1. Sit there. We have been bringing assignments, and you always scoring me less than 10 out of 10. This is very serious. You think I'm such a dunderhead, I cannot go beyond 10. Silly kabisa. Mungu atakulipa. Unamsomea alafu unamwambia toka. Proceed. Kwanza wewe si mwanaume, ni longi tu, mimi naona enda kabisa na usiangalie nyuma. Next. Mama Karamu, kaa hapa. Somea. Am I talking? Once you dismiss each person with the problem, the talking releases the problem from inside. And it's better for the problem to be outside than inside. You are okay. And that's why many reverends in the spirituals of churches, when they want to exorcise something, then they say, devil, you are a liar. Whoever you are, and wherever you are hiding, because they can't see you, wherever you are hiding, I command you in the name of Jesus. Bas, jamaa, anasema hata kama sijaona akitoroka, najua tu ameshaenda. Then there is prayer. Prayer is the second last. We are just finishing. Prayer, God is so merciful that He says, no denomination is discriminated. In other words, the prayer you have with Him does not depend on where you're praying from, which identity you have. That is irrelevant. Muslims will say Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, your Lord Akbar. Mungu mwenye kuneemesha, neema kubwa kubwa, neema ndogo ndogo, atasikia tu. The Catholics and Anglicans will say na la Mwana na la Roho Mtakatifu. Amen. Maria Mtakatifu aliyetangulia huko atuombe. Saint Benedict akamfuata huko atuombe pia. Na utukufu wake Baba na Mwana na Roho Mtakatifu uwe hapo kama ulivyokuwa hapo awali, ulivyo sasa na hata milele. Amen. God will listen. Now the spiritual, evangelical, baptismal churches, minus Kanyari and Shakahora. You say God El Shaddai Elohim, Jehovah Jireh. Hear me there. We pray that you bring the Holy Spirit, that you may touch. What wanaguza tu? Prayer. God is accepting all. Hello? And the very last one now. The last one is called music in context. So if ukiimba wimbo out of context, it has to be in context. And being in context means the message in the song and the mood of rendering it, they combine to produce a healing effect. Umenikosea, alafu unakimbia kwangu unasema Prof, I'm sorry, nilikukosea. Mimi nakufukuza kabisa, nakwambia toka hapa. I'm not interested in your apology. Am I talking? Unakumbuka hivi ni there is amazing grace which is bigger than professor. Forget, look at the professor, kama hataki kunisamehe, can go to hell and